morning, students. In this session, we are going to discuss XML namespace. This is Dr.N.Shirisha, Associate Professor from CSC Department, MLR Institute of Technology. So far, we have discussed what is XML, what are XML elements, what are XML attributes, and how to write and execute your XML program. And today, what is XML namespace? What is a namespace? A general example of a namespace or definition of a namespace is to avoid the ambiguity. Suppose if you have a name of a person with Rahul, you have a second person name also as Rahul. Then when I call Rahul, it is creating an ambiguity which Rahul I am calling it. So what happens? To avoid that ambiguity in our XML, we are going to use namespaces. Such as, if you have a table, okay, suppose I wanted to, XML can be used for defining a user-defined tags. Suppose if I am defining a table tag like this, then what happens? Your table tag will be having some sort of definition, like how in HTML, what is table? You will get a table in terms of rows and columns, where you will use a th and td and tr as a subtags of your table tag. But this cannot be done in the XML. Why? Because in XML we are using a user-defined tags where if you are writing a table tag, that means that you are going to give you the data about a table, like a furniture. Okay, so there's a difference about these two. So that is why we will use the namespaces to divide or to differentiate what is table in HTML and what is a table that you are going to write in the XML. So namespace provides a method to avoid the element name conflicts. So conflict here, when I write a table, so it thinks whether it is of a table rows and columns or whether it is of a table with a table as a furniture. Okay, so to avoid that, what we have to do? In XML, element names are defined by the developer. So if I am writing the XML program, I myself is a XML developer. So this often results in conflicts. Okay, to mix XML documents from different XML applications. So I am writing table tr and td with apples and banana. This is the table. Okay, this is actually the HTML code. Okay, but what we are doing, we are writing in the XML. So what if you write that, that will consider as a XML tag, HTML tag only, then your browser will give you an error, or it will not display your XML, or it will display with an error. So according to the browser compatibility. So XML carries the information. So here, if you write this in the XML, it just carries the information. It will not display you rows and columns because it is not going to use for presentation like HTML. So when you are carrying the information, you are giving the same table with different subtags, table name, width, length. So what you are talking about? You are giving the information about the table, which is of African coffee table. Okay, and which is of width 80 and which is of length 120. This is the information you are going to give. But what is the tag name that you are going to use? It is a table. So what happens? It raises ambiguity. So to avoid this ambiguity, we are going to use namespace. Okay, so XML fragments were added together. There will be a name conflict. Both contain a table element, but the elements have different content and meaning. Here the content is about the furniture. Here the content is about the HTML table. Okay, so to avoid this, what we are doing? So we are using a name conflict using a prefix. What do you mean by prefix? If you have a tag like table, so you are going to give some prefix here. Okay, so suppose if I wanted to make this table TRTD, whatever the code I'm writing, as a HTML to differentiate it with the HTML tag, I'm using a prefix H here. So H colon table, H colon TRTD. So then what happens here? Here also if I am giving H, again it will raise a ambiguity. So to avoid that only we are giving the prefix. So when you are giving prefix H here, other than H, the prefix you can use here. So F here, suppose we are giving F here as a prefix for the next table, it is a furniture. So F colon name, F colon. This prefix has to be separated with the tag name with colon. And it has to follow all the child tags also. So table is having name, width, length as a child tags. So F is what? It is a prefix. You have to add it before colon for every tag. Okay, this is how you write your prefix, naming prefix. Okay, so it avoids the conflict. So here if you are giving H colon, it means that you are talking about the HTML tag. If you are giving the F as a prefix, it means that you are talking about some other table, that is about the furniture. So there will be no conflict. So F or H will indicate the HTML table, F indicates the furniture. So what you are doing by using these prefixes, you are avoiding the conflicts. Now there is no conflict. Okay. So in XML namespaces, we also have to write the attributes. So what are those? Namespace prefix must be defined, that we have seen, and defined by a XML NS. So your H table is having XML NS as a prefix, where this prefix has to be defined by the XML NS attribute in the start tag of an element. This is a starting tag. So you have to give the attribute. Okay. What is the syntax? XML NX colon prefix. So this prefix is used everywhere. H. Okay. What is this H? It is nothing but a prefix of your XML namespace. Here XML NS is nothing but XML namespace. Okay, so you are going to give some part here where you are telling that. So this is the reference, we are taken it from the w3schools.com. So you can refer more from there also. So here what we are doing, this part, this URI, Uniform Resource Indicator, this what we are doing, we are trying to define what is my H namespace in this table tag. Okay. Now, this here also we are giving, where we are giving the prefix F namespace we have given. This is also given some path, W3 schools furniture. Okay. So any path you can define there. So that is just defined as a unique definition for the prefix that you are going to use it as a namespace. So in this example, XML NS attribute, table element gives the H prefix and the second table gives the F prefix. These two are having what? Qualified namespace. Qualified namespace is nothing but this is the thing. That is nothing but a qualified namespace. When a namespace is defined for an element is nothing but a tag. All the child tags will have to follow same prefix which are associated with the same namespace. So here H you have defined as a qualified namespace. Even though you are writing both the namespaces here only, you are defining the qualified namespace in the starting only, you have to define that H prefix for every subtag, every child tags. Okay. So this is where we are giving the F tag. So namespace URI is not used by the parser because the parser will not parse anything there. That is just a lookup information where you have defined something there. If the user required, he will go there and recheck. Otherwise not required. The purpose of an URI is to give the namespace a unique name. Just we are giving a unique name. That's it. It will not parse. The XML parser will not parse the URI that you are going to give for the XML namespace. So companies often uses the namespace as a pointer to a web page containing the namespace information. So here it is a table. Simply you can, by seeing that width, length, you can identify what is it. But when you are going to the actual projects and you wanted to define some data, where some data is having a separate namespaces, to avoid those naming conflicts, you have to write a namespace. Therefore, you have to define what is that in a separate web page. So that web page path is given as a URI for your namespace. Okay. So URI is nothing but Uniform Resource Identifier. So the string of character which identifies the internet resource, and that is a uniform resource locator which identifies the domain address. So domain address if you wanted to give, then you can give it as URL. If you wanted to give just identifies an internet resource, then you can also give URI. And there is some other thing, universal resource name. So this also can be used, but it is not commonly used. Mostly we will be using URI, Uniform Resource Identifier. So what are default namespaces? Defining a default namespace for an element saves us from using the prefixes. Okay, in all the child elements, XML namespace is equal to namespace URI. So here what you have some data. So note you have. So this program already we have seen. Note is a root element where you have the child elements to, from, head, body with the content. So this is the content that is given. Okay. So this is how your XML file will be viewed in every browser. So this already you know how to execute this node.xml we have seen in the last class. Just save it with the .xml and just double click on that saved file. So you will get this with a plus and minus sign. Color coded elements also will be given. Okay, to the left elements can be clicked to expand or collapse. So plus means it will expand, minus is to collapse the element structure. Okay. So in Safari 5 and earlier, only the element text will be displayed. That means what? Note is having to, from, body, right? So these are to be displayed. So to view the raw data of the XML, you have to just right click the page and select view source. So but in updated browsers, directly all the code will be displayed. So viewing an invalid XML file. So if an erroneous XML file is open, some browsers will report the error. Obviously, if you have any error, suppose if you are writing a XML version equals to 1.0 like this. So you have some error in this, right? So this is a delimiter that you have to give for every XML program, but here question mark is missing. So if you are not writing that, so some browsers will give you the XML output with errors. Okay. Or suppose if you are writing this, okay, this is there, and if you are writing to let me write here from. So what is wrong here? This is not a well formed. When you are starting your tag here, you have to close it here. So if you are not closing, then what happens? It is not a well formed document. Even if it is not well formed, the XML output should not be displayed. If it is also browser is compatible, then it will display, but with the errors it will display. So you have to rectify these errors to get the correct output. So since XML tags are invented by the author, user defined, so browsers do not know if a tag like table describes an HTML table or a dining table. It doesn't know. So without any information how to display the data, the browsers can just display XML document as it is. If you are writing a table and with the TD or TR tags, okay, TR followed by the TD tags, then also it has to display. If you are writing table, okay, like you length and width, so this is also displaying you the content. So XML doesn't bother about what the actual content is there in the program. It displays whatever the user is giving because it is invented by the author. That means what? It is a user defined tags are given. So here XML CSS. XML CSS can also be written here. So you know HTML, CSS, cascading style sheet. You know style sheet is just to make the page, visibility of the page more colorful. So in XML also we are going to give the format with a whatever the XML tag you are writing or XML code you are writing. You can just give a separate CSS file and just display it. So just I am going to show you first namespace. So let me give the namespace program. So here every namespace can also be written with the root or without the root tag also. So let me take a simple program notepad. Okay, so let me take this program. So here I have a root tag. So root can be given, root may not be given, that is also fine. Okay, and when you are writing a XML namespace, see that it will not be parsed by the XML parser. So here is what we are talking about, the HTML, and here is what we are talking about, the furniture. Okay, as we have started root here, we are closing the root here, and if you see the XML NS we have given, which is a namespace, and colon H. H is what? What is H? It is a prefix used for the first table. F is the prefix used for the second table. So this is my first table where I have given H. So this is well formed. As the table is started here, you are closing here. You have started TR here, you have closed here, and TD also after the child tags you have closed. And this is my prefix. What is the prefix? F I have given. So here also I am giving F table root. So finally I am closing. So name, width, length are the three child tags that you are giving for the furniture table. Okay. So let me save this on the desktop and let me give here okay, with XML I am saving this. So just execute this. Let me check where I have saved this. Yes. Okay, table 1, let me give dot XML. Okay. So if you are executing, so this is the output for your XML program. So you may get plus or minus or like downward arrows or side arrows, right arrows. Okay. So this may suppress or this may show the content, hide or display the contents. Okay. So what is happening here? Just whatever the XML namespace you have given and the root tags, that is also being displayed, and H tag. So you can suppress F and show your HTML tags. So TR, TD, apples and bananas. So this is displayed. Okay. And here this is a proper well-formed XML document. So both the H tags, H table tags and also F table tags are being displayed. Clearly there is no ambiguity here. H is indicating your table with HTML tags. F is indicating the table with the furniture table. Okay, so where along with the namespaces with prefix is also displayed. Suppose let me give you and make it not well formed. So let me remove this. Okay, then what I need to do? So just I am trying to execute the same again. So it is showing you the error. What is the error? Error on line 10. Okay. Column 11, open ending tag mismatch. So TR tag is missing. So what happens? You have to rectify your code and then rerun your program. So this is how the errors in the XML will be shown, and this is what the execution of the namespace. Okay. Then hope you understood. Let me show you what the CSS here. I have taken reference of W3 schools here. Just I am showing you the CSS. I have some catalog where our CSS file is also been given. So what is the CSS here? I want a background color with a width of, for catalog width is 100%, and my catalog is having CD, title, artist and country, price, year, company. So all I have to give what is my styling for all. So here for CD I have given display block of statements, margin bottom, margin left. Display block, color, font size, display color, font size, display color, font size. Font size 20 points I have given. So let me show you how this works. Okay. So this is the second link where I have given you the entire catalog with the content. In the catalog.xml you will have this content, a general XML program, and this is what the colors and the font styles that we have given. Okay. So this is how you can display the CSS also. Okay. Then so this is my catalog. This is, if you are clicking the page source, you can see what type of styling you have given. So href what you have given here, cd catalog.css. So the CSS file, whatever I have shown you, like let me show you this one. This catalog.css has been given as a reference for href. Okay. And the XML style sheet is used for applying the cascading or styles for your XML program. Then this is my catalog with the CD, okay, with multiple CDs, and what are the child tags, title, price, artist, country and all. So you could see this. Okay. So everything is getting displayed. So this is how you can also apply the XML styling, cascading style sheets for the XML. Okay, in this session we have discussed about XML namespace. Namespace is having is used for avoiding the conflicts between the two tags, the two similar tags. And also your namespace is defined as an attribute XMLNS with the prefixes. XMLNS : your prefix has to be given. Okay. So namespace attributes is nothing but XMLNS, and XML files with CSS also we have seen. Thank you.